FIFA's gonna hold another press conference. What in the world could Blatter possibly say now? He already cheated his way to a freaking election. What do you want? What do you want?
Bien que les membres de la FIFA m'aient conféré ce nouveau mandat.
While I have a new mandate from the membership of FIFA, I do not feel that I have a mandate from the entire world of football. The fans, the players, the clubs, the people who live, breathe, and love football as much as we all do here at FIFA.
Les élections sont terminées. Mais les défis
The election is over, but FIFA's challenges are not. FIFA needs a profound overhaul.
profonde restructuration. Je remettrai mon mandat à disposition.
I will put my mandate at the disposition of a special elective Congress. This decision will go into effect as soon as possible, that is to say, on the date when a new president can be chosen by the FIFA Congress to succeed me.
Oh my God. Party!
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Oh my God, guys. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's finally happened. Blatter, the dictator, the Hitler of FIFA, is leaving. Finally. Finally. So, yeah, of course I had to do a video about it. And, we need to talk about this, and what I want to do is I'm going to break it up into 3 pieces. So I'm going to tell you guys how in the world he's been able to keep his power, get reelected for 5 times starting, the last time being last week. Then I'm going to talk to you about why this sudden change of heart, why that it is not courageous as so many people are trying to say, and why it's actually very cowardice. And then I want to talk just a little bit about the future and what it entails and what could possibly happen. Now, Blatter has been in office since, I believe, 1998, something like that. He's been in office for about 17 years or so, and he's been able to stay in office for so long because he's been doing not illegal things, but unethical things. He has done things to make sure that he stays in power. And technically it's legal bribing. Now, I'm not going to get into full-on lawyer details and all the, the political aspect of it. I'm just going to give you the bare basic, stripped down, watered down facts. If you would like to get in more detail, you are more than welcome to do the research for yourself. But from my understanding, the way this has worked is since he took office, he changed a lot of things as far as how voting works. Now, whenever he took office, there was a lot less members of FIFA. There was a lot less countries. And what he did is he did something what I call legal bribing. So basically what would happen is there was these countries in Africa and Asia in particular, small countries, big groups of countries, that were not involved in FIFA in whatsoever. So what does he do? He gives them money. He gave them aid for them to build their footballing programs and systems and structures. Now, the reason why I call it legal bribing is because there was no regulation whatsoever of where this money was going, how it was spent, and what was happening to it. Him and FIFA themselves could not tell you where one single dollar was going. So for all they knew, they could have sent 10 million to Malaysia, or 10 million is more like 100 million to Malaysia, and half of it could have been in the pocket of the president of their FA, and they wouldn't be none the wiser. They would know nothing about it. So that's why I call it legal bribes, because it's not illegal for FIFA to send that kind of aid, and it wasn't illegal for Blatter to do that, to push and sign off on these things. There was nothing illegal about it, but it was highly unethical because there was no regulation whatsoever. And so whenever he built up and more like bribed these countries into coming into FIFA, he was essentially buying votes. Because of course if some FIFA president or some sports leader comes in with tons of money and says, hey, here's 100 million, here's a $500 million, do whatever you want with it, we're not gonna watch, then of course you're gonna like the guy because he's throwing money at you and you don't have to answer to anybody for it. So because Blatter was helping develop all these small FAs and all these different organizations and bringing them into FIFA, all of these newly developed areas were getting a vote. And of course, I mean, he developed this over years and years, over a decade, well over a decade, almost 2 decades. And he was essentially bringing in more votes, people to vote on who's going to be president and everything else involving FIFA. So naturally, after a while, he built up enough votes out of Asia and Africa to never have to worry again about really campaigning. I mean, he really didn't have to campaign. He knew he was going to win because of his legal bribes. So that is how he got to maintain power, and that is how he stayed in power, and that is why no one was ever going to beat him, because he was essentially saying, here's a shit ton of money, do whatever you want with it, we don't need to know what you're doing with it. Have fun. Ethical? I don't think so. I really don't think so. That is not what you should be doing. As a responsible leader and as a responsible international, beacon of football, you should be the overseer. You should be coming in and saying, hey, we got this money, but this is what we want to do with it, and this is how it's done. Anyway, that's for another debate, but that is how Blatter got to keep his place for so long. Now, you might be wondering, you might be asking yourself, okay, so he just got reelected, and he was all pumped up and full of pomp, and he threw some mud at the U.S. for prosecuting these 14 people for doing what they did, and he threw mud at anyone who was with the U.S. and even the Swiss authorities for arresting these people and saying that it's just trying to get him to tarnish his name and all this, that, and the other. First of all, he tarnished his own name. But second of all, he just thought that it was some kind of conspiracy against him. Well, you might be asking yourself, well, what something changed, something flipped the script. Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. Within those couple of days, it was leaked that the FBI and the US DOJ, Department of Justice, had started to investigate Sepp Blatter. In front of me, I have 3 articles talking about this. Let me read one out for you. This one from ESPN FC reads, the FBI and U.S. prosecutors were investigating Sepp Blatter, the FIFA president who announced his resignation on Tuesday, as part of the probe that led to last week's stunning indictments, sources familiar with the case told ABC News. Now, naturally, the FBI declined to comment because Blatter has not been publicly identified as a target, but it's 95% sure that they are definitely going after Blatter. Another article talks about how he flipped the script and how his attitude changed drastically, and I'm going to read that to you now. It is also from ESPN FC, and it says, the 79-year-old had been defiant and feisty in the same room on Saturday, fending off questions about FIFA's battered reputation and the chance he could be arrested. His mood had changed in the 24 hours before his announcement, Blatter aide Walter Gagg told the Associated Press. He said, we know that oh wow, I think this is translated from French, excuse me. So I'm going to read it word for word. We know that in the last 48 hours, he was thinking of the future, and perhaps what happened in the last hours, this gave him the conviction. He also added, we had lunch with him on Monday. He was relaxed, he was fine. I had a very good meeting with him early in the morning on Tuesday. Then came the different information from the U.S. with this and that, i.e. the fact that he's being investigated. Now I have one last piece of information to share with you, and it's about the ABC News report and their insider on the whole investigation. And it's come to light that the FBI is treating this as an actual mob racketeering case. They're treating it like this is a mafia, and how the FBI is going after them exactly like they would a mafia. And let me just read what it says, then I'll talk about it. It says, ABC News reported that the investigation hoped to use these indicted to provide information that could lead to charges against their superiors, i.e. Blatter, much as federal agents would in a mob racketeering case. The source is being quoted. Now that people are going to want to save themselves, there's probably a race to see who will flip on Blatter first. One of the sources said, explaining how the feds typically try to get people to inform on their superiors. We may not be able to collapse the whole organization, but maybe you don't need to. So, in a nutshell, what I'm seeing is Blatter was all full of himself. Yes, the U.S. is going after FIFA, but they can't get nothing on me, so I'm going to throw some mud on them and tell it how it's a conspiracy against me. Well, it wasn't a conspiracy, it was a fact. You're corrupt, and you've been busted, and you know you've been busted. What happened is his advisors told Blatter, psst, they have shit on you. Shut up. You're going to need to leave. He knows. Why else? It's not a coincidence. Coincidence. Why else would he be all full of himself and all happy and all pomp and glory, and then right when the report comes out that he's being investigated and there's talk that people are going to turn on him, why all of a sudden would he give up the job that he's held power for over 17 years like a freaking dictator? Why would he flip the script like that? Because he needs to tuck his tail and run. He knows he's in trouble. He knows he's going to get indicted. People are saying that he actually left Zurich, and that, I'm not sure that people actually know where he is right now, to be 100% honest with you. That could just be conjecture. He could just be sitting in his house in Zurich for all I know, but I have not seen any reports of people actually saying if he's actually in Zurich or not. So, but anyway, yeah, regardless, the fact is if you're not guilty, or if they don't have anything on you, you don't run away like this. And a lot of FIFA officials were being politically correct and saying how it was courageous and took bravery. No, this was cowardice. He's tucking his tail and running like a coward. If he was innocent, if he had nothing, if he only had small little dings against him that could get him in slight trouble, like he has to pay a fine or something like that, then he would happily stay in FIFA and do what he thought was best and stick to his guns. But you don't just quit a job like president of FIFA unless you have done something very serious. You just don't. So I think that that's what's happened. He's been caught up in this scandal. He's a part of this scandal, and something is on him that scared him enough to want to leave. Lastly, I want to talk to you guys about the future. And to be 100% honest with you, I cannot give you an honest opinion on how the future is going to look. There is a lot of different directions that we could go as far as, the football, soccer community, and FIFA, and the direction that they want to go. In my opinion, I think it would be a horrible idea to let Platini take charge of FIFA. I think he is every bit as corrupt, every bit the French version of Blatter. I think that because he was a former protege, he learned everything about the organization from Blatter. He was under Blatter's wing. He was a Blatter supporter and right-hand man. It was only recently that he decided to flip the script, and I'm willing to bet he is every bit as corrupt as Blatter was, and I don't think that that is the right direction to go for FIFA. I think that they need someone who is going to change things, and I mean really change things. Someone who actually cares. Who really cares and who doesn't care about power. Someone who's not afraid to lose an election. I know this sounds like idealism and that it's, you know, it's fantasy land. But that is the honest truth, and that is what we really need in the sport, is someone who's going to change things. I honestly think that Luis Figo might be a good option. I think that Van Praag might be an okay option. I don't think he's overly terrible, but that doesn't mean he's not susceptible to corruption. The Prince Ali, I thought he could have been a very good candidate, and hopefully he runs again. He comes from royalty. He has money, and he doesn't need more money. He comes from royalty. So hopefully that turns into, and that translates into him wanting the what's best for the sport. He's not interested, hopefully, in will this make me money. He would not be, hopefully, be interested in will this gain me more power. Hopefully, whoever the next president is, because it's hard to tell who it could or will be, because you just never know who's going to run and who's going to campaign and who's going to actually get support at this point. But my hope for the future is that we get someone who is an idealist, who doesn't care about winning the next election, and who doesn't care about what kind of money he's bringing into his own pockets and his own campaigns. We need someone who's an idealist, who will do what's good for the sport and really help people. And really, really help people. And that is my honest opinion of the future. I do want to hear what you have to say about it. I realize this is slightly more serious than what you're used to, but this is something that needs to be talked about, and this is something I do care about, because everything, FIFA the video game, to the actual game played by real clubs in real life, everything involving the sport is affected by FIFA in some way. And things need to change. Things need to get better, and it can't just be the rich just keep getting richer and the poorer clubs just keep dying. It can't happen. It cannot be this way, and hopefully change comes. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think of what you heard. Well, guys, that is going to do it for today. Today you got to see me in a little bit of serious mode. I'm not very often in that kind of thought process, but it had to be done. It had to be said. It's been on my mind for a while, and I needed to get it out. So I am at the end of the video, and I am probably going to go outside again. It's just been so nice the last couple days, I can't help it. I'm going to go kick the soccer ball around a little bit. But, guys, if you did enjoy the video, please hit that like button. If you agree with me or disagree with me, leave a comment down below. I want some discussion in the kingdom. Okay? I will respond. Don't forget also to share the video, so that way we can try to grow our kingdom into being as big as it can be. New people, smash that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all the newest videos that come out almost daily. Almost. Well, guys, that is it for today. I'm getting out of here. I want to go play some soccer, so I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope this explanation helped. Have a wonderful day if not, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.